Hello guys, it's Rachel. What's up? Welcome back. Hope you're all having a great day. And today, I'm having a pretty good day because it's just the start of the quarter. It's the first weekend, so there's not really a whole lot of homework. And to make things even better, we are making some adorable Pusheen chocolates that are stuffed with edible cookie dough and brownies. It's basically everything I love in one little bite. You got Pusheen, brownies, cookie dough, sprinkles, chocolate chips. I guess that's it. These are so tasty. It's my favorite recipe for edible cookie dough. And overall, it's just a great way to kick off the new quarter if you're on the quarter system or if you're like mid-semester, still really good. By the way, a little update. I just had my first week of spring quarter and so far it seems pretty interesting. Granted, it's only been like 1 week and there hasn't been a whole lot of homework. And I feel like the amount of homework that goes into a class is in like direct correlation with how much you dislike the class. So we'll see. But a lot of you guys have commented and said you're curious about how college is. So that is my little update for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, then maybe you skipped through it and you're just looking for the right spot where the video actually starts. I should say video actually starts because I always think it starts at 0 seconds. But I will stop babbling now. Before we get started though, make sure you tap that subscribe button and turn on those notifications as well. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. First of all, let's make our edible cookie dough. This is the tried and true kawaiisweetworld recipe. And let me tell you, I really like cookie dough, and to me this tastes just like the real thing. If you love cookie dough, you have to give this one a try. You'll want to start off with a ½ cup of flour, but before you start mixing it up, you'll want to heat treat it, and that's just because there is bacteria in raw flour, so you can't go eating it raw. So to heat treat it, you'll want to microwave it at 30-second intervals and just whisk in between each interval until it reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you'll want to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and go ahead and whisk that all through. Then for our wet ingredients, you'll need a ½ stick of really nice soft butter and just mix that around until it's smooth. Then add in 3 tablespoons of white sugar and 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, and once again give that all a mix. The really nice thing is that you can do this all by hand, so if you're craving cookie dough and you're feeling super impatient, you don't have to break out an electric mixer or anything like that. Once that's nice and smooth, just add in a ½ teaspoon of vanilla extract along with a tablespoon of milk and then give that all a mix. Now it's time to add in our dry ingredients, so just toss that on in and you can probably guess, just give it a mix. Then you're gonna add in a 1/4 cup of mini chocolate chips. Make sure that you use mini chocolate chips just because our truffles are really small. And I also tossed in some rainbow sprinkles just for some color. And now for the tricky part, don't eat all the cookie dough right now. You're probably gonna have at least a tablespoon or so, but beyond that, try to restrain yourself just for now. Or you could not, but that is also a different video. But now let's talk about our brownies. Now I believe we have a safe community here, free of judgment, so don't judge me because we are going to be using a box mix brownie today. But the reason for this is 1, there is a good amount of assembly with this recipe between making the cookie dough and making the chocolates and decorating, so I feel like we can give ourselves a break. And then 2, I really like Ghirardelli dark chocolate brownie mix. I think it's the one that my mom used to use because something about the flavor is really nostalgic to me and I just love this mix. So I'm just going to prepare it according to the package directions, but I'll also leave my favorite brownie recipe over on the blog post if you want to use that. And here you can see our beautiful brownie batter. I could probably just like eat this plain with a spoon, like while watching Netflix. That sounds amazing. But anyways, that's a different video. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this into my prepared pan, and then I will bake it off according to package directions. Super simple. And now here are the brownies out of the oven. I feel like just watching this video, like I can smell the brownies and how chocolatey and rich they are. Okay, I'm getting distracted. For our truffles, you'll want to cut these into truffle-sized pieces. And speaking of truffle-sized pieces, you want to make sure that they'll fit within your Pusheen chocolate mold. Link for this guy is over on the blog post, but it's super cute, really handy for baking because you can do chocolates in it, you can do brownies, cakes, whatever you'd like. Who doesn't love Pusheen? So I highly recommend. And now let's move on to assembling our chocolates. So you're going to need some gray candy melts. I just melted down some Candy Quick and then added in some black food color. And then also, I recommend adding in a tiny bit of yellow. And that's because Pusheen's gray isn't a very cool toned one. It's a little bit on the warmer side. So if you want to be really precise with it, take that into account. And then you'll just want to spoon the candy melts into your Pusheen mold. So I'm adding in about 1.5 tablespoons and spreading that up the sides of the mold. Doesn't have to be perfect because now we're just going to flip that upside down and then shake out any excess chocolate. It's okay if it looks like a mess. We're gonna clean it up later. So go ahead and pop that into the fridge for it to set up. And the cool thing about candy melts, you can always reuse and remelt down those scraps, so nothing is wasted. basted. Once your shell has set up, you'll want to repeat that process one more time just to make sure your coating is nice and opaque, and then it's time to start filling them. So I just have the edible cookie dough in a piping bag, and if you find that it's too thick to pipe, just add in a little bit more milk, but just pipe that in the bottom of the cavity, then lay over a piece of brownie, and repeat for the rest of the Pusheens. To top it all off, spoon over some more of the gray candy melts and just smooth that all out, then pop that into the fridge to set. And now it is time for the big moment. It's time to pop them out of the mold, and you can see our adorable Pusheens, and feel free to break off any little scraggly bits on the sides. Continue popping out the rest of your Pusheens, admire your hard work there, and then we can move on to the decoration. You'll want to take some darker gray candy melts and just define Pusheen's features. My one tip here is that it's kind of difficult to get his mouth just perfect in the mold. No matter how hard you tap down on the mold, there's bound to be some air bubbles, so I recommend kind of scraping off his mouth and then adding it on just on the surface of the chocolate just for a cleaner look. And then if you want to go the extra mile, you can add on some sprinkles to decorate. So you can use 2 heart sprinkles and a confetti sprinkle for a bow tie. You can add on a little donut sprinkle, which is basically just a Cheerio and some candy melts and some sprinkles. And then I also made it look like he was holding the donut by just adding on some arms with candy melts. You may notice that this means that he kind of has 6 arms and legs, but it's close enough. And that's how you make these edible cookie dough and brownie filled Pusheen chocolates. Is there anybody that wouldn't want a box of these as a present? They're adorable, delicious, tasty, photogenic, everything you could ever want. So I hope you give them a try. They're a lot of fun to put together, and they're pretty simple too. And now that our Pusheen chocolates are finished, let's hop into the outro. Alright guys, so that is our Pusheen chocolates, and I hope you all enjoyed. And if you like this video, make sure you tap that subscribe button. You can also follow me on social media at kawaiisweetworld. My last video is linked right down there, and the blog post is right up there. Alright, well take care guys, love you all so much, and I'll see you all back here very soon. Looking forward to it. Bye guys!